Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this time I'm going to explain about uh, uh, data mining, but this time I'm using KNIME analytic platforms. Alright, so I will be processing one of the data pre-processing first, and then I will go to the data mining task. Alright, for the first data processing, for my part of data processing is I'm doing data cleaning. Alright, data cleaning to use KNIME is relatively easy as you only drag and drop the nodes, and this will be automatically executed for you. Alright, so how do you do this? Okay. So the bottom one is generally is what most will use for data cleaning. Right, we have the CSV reader, column filter, column rename, missing value, duplicate row filter, and CSV writer. Alright, so one by one, the CSV reader here is to use to read our file. Alright, second one is column filter. For column filter here, it used to filter any column that we don't need in data. For example, when we are doing our data mining task later, there will definitely be some column that we doesn't necessarily need, right? So it will just be a waste and we call them as noisy data. So we remove them here. Okay, column rename here is to give the column a more meaningful name so that the data, whoever using the data later will understand more or understand what the data is all about. Missing value here is to either replace the missing value or move the missing value or move the missing value, the row that contain the missing value away. Lastly, with the duplicate row filter is used to either remove any duplicate row. Alright, sometimes if the data really needs to be duplicate, then this you can remove this, or else you can put it here and you can go through it. Lastly, the CSV writer. CSV writer is to rewrite back the data into another CSV file. Alright, so to use the CSV writer, you need to have another one file, empty file, so that you can write there, or if you want to rewrite your original file, it's okay too. Okay, so for our group, right, the data that we have. Alright, one more thing I forgot to mention is you can remove any of these and you can remove things that you don't need. For example, missing, if let's say the data is, you guarantee there is no missing value, you can remove that, or there's no duplicate or filter. Alright, if you are confident with it. Alright, so the one that I'm using right now today is the one that have this. For today data set, I'm going to use this in the four up here. It's pretty much the same. I just remove a few things from down here because my data actually doesn't have any missing value, and there is no duplicate row. Since the fact that it's diamond is very different, the market price is very different, and it's very rare for it to have the same price. Alright, so moving on, let's see one by one how it's used. So this is the first one. So just select the node and press configure. To configure it, for the CSV reader, you just need to select which one you want to find. You just select browse, and in my case, I already have this one, the diamond CSV here. Open. Okay, once you decide everything, I think the rest you don't really need to change unless you want your advanced user. You can change the advanced one. Alright, and then you click on, if the nodes is already running, then you click on apply, or else you can just click OK. Alright, the setting will not change, the nodes will not be reset. Alright, because I'm doing it before. Right, so I press OK. Alright, so that is for the CSV reader. Next one is the column filter. Alright, so for the column filter, simply same, open configure again. Alright, as you can see, this is all the columns that existed, and some of it are not what I don't need to use later. So I move the data into the one in the green box means it's going to stay, and the one in the red box means it's going to be removed from the data. Right. So in my currently, okay, let's say I move everything here. So to move it, just click them and move it to the other side, like that. Right. Okay, then you click apply. Oh, since the same, I have not done any changes. I click OK, and then I press OK. OK. Next, lastly is duplicate row filter. Select on it, configure. Okay, as you can see, the same. The red box mean exclude. That means no duplicate will be removed from here and include is here, right? So for the one I'm doing next, I don't need the duplicate data, so I'm putting everyone in the include box, right? And then there's the up here, you don't need to really what I call. You don't need to remove it that much. And then I click apply. So this then change, I click OK, and then lastly OK. Oh, just for the side notes, when you start it, everything will be in the include box. Alright. So you need to make sure properly which one you want to put in the exclude. Alright. And lastly, the CSV reader. So we configure it. Alright, pretty much the same as the CSV reader. Alright. So you just browse the file that you're going to rewrite back the data. Okay, so you can either use the original file, which is the diamond.csv that I'm using, or if you're feeling insecure like me, you can make a copy of the diamond file and you will save it in the copy. Right, so with that way you can have the comparison. So you click OK, apply. Okay, okay, okay. So alright, so currently they are all of them are running. Okay. So, oh, sorry. This expanding this. Alright, so to run it, first I need to run it back. Okay, reset. Alright, so to run it, simply select all of them like this, and then click execute all executable nodes, or you can just choose one by one and click on the execute. Okay, we'll do its work. Once all are greens, right, then you can see the difference. Right, so the difference here you cannot see here, but you can see on the file that you saved. So let's see. So this is the file I have. This is diamond CSV. Right. So it contains all this data. Alright. Okay. And I save it in a diamond copy CSV. Let it open for a while. Alright. As you can see, the diamond CSV have removed the XYZ. So that is pretty much so there's a difference in the data set that has been finalized, right? Okay, so this is it. So that's for data pre-processing. Alright, thank you very much.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Today, I'm going to do a pre-processing task for data mining, which is data loading using KNIME. So, the first step that you need to do is to create a new workflow space in your KNIME. So, just click on here, New, and click on New KNIME Workflow, and then click on Next. And then, rename your workflow into the name that you want to name it. Okay. So, for example, I'm just going to name it as data, as in data loading. So, just type in Finish. Alright, so now we have created a new workflow space in our KNIME. So what you need to do here, let's go to Node repository, expand the IO panel, clicking this, and also the read, clicking this, and then drag the Excel reader into your workflow space here. Alright, so this is our first node, which is an Excel reader. So the next step, what you're going to do is to right click on it, click on configure, and then a new panel will pop up. So just click on browse and search for the data set of your Excel that you want to put in here. So for example, it's in archive diamonds.xlsx. So .xlsx is an extension of Excel file. So just click on open, and you have to see here. It's going to scan the file. Alright, if you see this, it means that your file has already been loaded into your node. So just click on OK. Okay, once you've done that, what you are going to need to do is to right click on it again and execute. And then you're going to see here the process. Okay, you need to wait until 100%. Okay, once it gone to 100%, it will light up to green, meaning that it's ready and has already been executed. So to check whether your data has been loaded into KNIME or not, right click again, go to File table, and you can see here that your data has been loaded. So that's all for data loading using KNIME. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Fazal Akabi Azman. So today I'm going to demonstrate data pre-processing for data mining task, which is linear regression analysis. Okay, so now we are going to do the column filter. So at here, we will search the column filter, and then we will drag this node into the work canvas over here. So we have the column filter right now. So now we upload, we drag the arrow from the data explorer to the column filter. So okay, done. So then we will click, we will double click at the column filter. So as you can see over here, here is the right one is the variables that are the variables that we have in the data sets of diamonds. So right now, the purpose of the filter is we want to remove the variables that are not related and impactful to for us to do the next process. So since uh, so now we are going to remove to exclude the column 0 since it is not important for the analysis later on. So therefore we exclude it and then we click OK. So after we click OK, then we will click the execute. So as you can see over here right now, our dataset doesn't have column 0 row anymore since we have already exclude it from our datasets.
Alright, so for the next part is my data mining task. Alright, so for data mining task, I was assigned for data classification. Alright, so pretty much this is the node. Okay, so please forget the line. I want to make sure it fits in one page. Okay, so the general node is to use the CSV reader first and then move to the number to string and partitioning, decision tree learner, decision tree predictor, and a scorer. Okay, I will go one by one. So the CSV reader, just like before, is used to read the CSV file. Number to string is to change a certain data from numbers to string because our decision tree requires string format data. Right. Next is partitioning. Partitioning is used to differentiate our set and our training set and our testing set. Right. So what is decision tree learner and the decision tree predictor? The decision tree learner is pretty much the one that is going to learn about our data set and they're going to predict which one is going to be our class. Right. But the decision tree predictor is pretty much the application of once the decision tree learner understand. It's like once you get something and that the decision tree learner is for them to learn and the decision tree predictor is for them to execute what they have learned. Alright. And let's say the scorer is used to score our accuracy in the result obtained. Alright, the accuracy here means how high the higher the percentage of the accuracy here, the more accurate is the result. Alright, so do take note, I do use an extra row sampling here. Alright, the extra row sampling function is to further make your data set smaller because some of the hardware that we're using is not strong enough to do what we call to do to do this kind of processing for a lot of data. Okay, if you have a strong device, that's good, but my one crashed multiple times here, right? So, and the data here is there, not enough memory available, right? So if you guys have a better one, then that's okay. Oh, sorry, that mine. I'm like that. Okay. So here it is. Execute fail, not enough memory available. Alright. So let's go one by one. Alright. So let's the same. Sorry. Click on the configure and you just do the same thing as before. Alright. So for row sampling, if you use it, right, you can just use the relative function, which is the 10% of the whole data, for example. It might be small, but it does the job, right? Okay. Okay. And then the number to string configure. Alright, the number to string here determine what are you going to predict. Alright, it's very important to choose only one of the data for the decision tree so that it can do the rest one data for as that if all the decision tree needs. Alright, so here's the carrot. I decided to choose the carrot because I want to see whether the carrot will determine the price for in the future, or maybe the carrot and the predicted carrot have different value in the market. Alright, I click apply. Oh, sorry, I click OK. Since it's already running, so I just click apply. So partitioning here is to differentiate the data set and the training data sets and also the tested data set. Right. So just like the partition, just like the what we call the row sampling, the common points are pretty much the same and just use a different relative. For me, the best one I choose is 33%. Alright, okay, apply. Okay. 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 Next is the decision tree learner. Alright. The decision tree learner will automatically predict the class column you're using use. In this case, it predict correct. Alright. So yeah, it just when you decide the one you put in the number two string is correct, and then here it will be also set correct. Right? So you can choose number of records to solve for view. This one is pretty much everything here can be adjusted. But if you're new and you have a strong device, you can just if you're a strong device, you just can leave it and right here. Or if you're new and you have quite a weak hardware, then you can adjust this number to smaller one. Alright. Okay, so I click apply. Okay. Did I change anything? Okay, no. Oh, okay. So the next one is this interpretation is better. There's not much to change here. You just let it be like this. Alright, so, okay. And lastly, this is the scorer. Okay. So to configure scorer is pretty much you need to put the first column is the real class, which is the one for the table, and the second column is the prediction of the current. For example, in my case, I'm using the prediction current. Usually, the prediction of the whatever the first column you choose. Okay, and what under here is if that in case of missing value, let's say your data probably got some missing value. Alright, so you need to either choose to ignore it or it's going to fail. If it's going to fail, you will stop the execution immediately. Alright, so I'm pressing X here. Alright, so now I'm selecting everything. Just like before, to execute this, I'm selecting everything and I'm going to go with run it. Okay, so now they are doing their work. Okay. Alright, as you can see, everyone here is already done. Okay, once they all reach the green light. Okay, so to read the result, simply first you select this one and you select the where is it? View decision tree. Alright, this is a decision tree that is made from the sample we obtained. Alright, see, this is the current here. If it's less than 4.425 and this is more than 4.425, it will be classified in other category. Alright, so the next one is we can remove this. How to close this one? Yeah. So that is the result, and then you can view the classified data here. This is data obtained. Alright, this is the final result of everything. It may look the same as what in the original data, but that's the prediction part here. Okay, the mark here means there's missing value or it can compute. Okay, and lastly, this is the scorer. Alright, the scorer we will use to see the confusion metric. The confusion matrix here will determine the accuracy of what we're doing. Alright, so I press the confusion matrix and let's see. So as you can see, the accuracy of this test is 30.278% and the error is 69.72%. Alright, so what does this indicate? The accuracy of this is only 30.727%, not a very high value, which means it may have an error in the processing somewhere, or there will be human error in the computing. While the error 69.722% is how much wrong classified data is. So what does wrong classified data means? That means the column or the column we choose for the decision tree may be a wrong column, or in the worst case scenario, the data set are not suitable for this analysis. Alright, so you can try to use this for other data set, right? But please do understand the use of this one. It depends on your data set, and also it pretty much depends on your knowledge and based on your past experience. Based on what you can also read about it in fast research. Alright, so that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Alright, now I'm going to show you how to do clustering using KNIME. So clustering is a data mining task that you can do. Okay, so using KNIME, first thing that you need to do is you need to have a data node. So for example here, I'm using an Excel reader that I read an Excel dataset from outside into KNIME. So the next node that you need is a partitioning. So here, partitioning node. So put this here. Alright, the next node that you are going to need is, of course, the most important thing, which is k-mean, because the clustering method that we are going to do now is a k-mean clustering method. So just do k dash, and you can already see is k-mean. So just drag it here. Alright, k-mean. Next is clustering. So clustering, hold on. Oh, sorry, it's a cluster assigner. Yeah, cluster assigner. Then we need color manager, shape manager. Okay, so note that shape manager is optional because it's going to be used to make you more easily see the different data inside of your cluster chart after this. So you can use it and you cannot use it. It depends on you. And the last one is the scatter plot itself, because this is the one that is going to show the output. So scatter plot. Alright. So this is all that you need. Alright, so let me organize this. This here. This one here. Alright, so the next thing that you are going to need to do is to connect. So from this point, this point, this point to this point. So next, partitioning again to cluster assigner. So you can move it a little bit here. So from this side, it's going to color, and then the blue box is connected to another blue box here, and the rest is just triangle to triangle. Oh, triangle to triangle, triangle to triangle. Alright, so basically this is the clustering. So as you can see, it's very simple. So now I'm going to show you what is going to done, what is not. So here is partitioning. So the input table is split into two partitions. Train test data set to partition available at two output ports. The following options are so absolute derivative. Okay. So we're going to have to configure. And for this part, usually we are going to set it to 33%. And just click on apply and OK. Alright, next is k-means. Right click, configure. Okay, so in this part, first you need to decide how many cluster you need in your cluster chart. So for example, I'm going to make 5 clusters, and also the data that you're going to use. So whichever data that you are not going to use, is you are going to put into the exclude side, and the one that you want to use, put it on the include side. So just click on OK. Next is cluster assigner. So configure cluster assigner. So this part, there's nothing much to change. Basically, this is default. You can just use the default. Okay, so color manager. So the color manager, the importance is that since you are going to make a few clusters, you need to have different colors for you to distinguish each cluster. So for example, I'm going to change it to the color that you can see more clearly. And this one to something more light, such as this color. Alright, just click on OK. Next is Shape Manager. So this is optional. So depends. So for my data, there is ideal, premium, good, very good, and fair. So all these shapes is going to represent the value inside of the scatter plot. Okay, so you can change it if you want. So just click on it and choose whichever shape that you think is suitable. So just click on OK. And lastly, the scatter plot itself, you configure. So you need to see what is the maximum number of rows in your data set. So for example, you can go to your Excel reader, right click, file table. So for my example, there is 53,000 53,940 rows. So 53940 53, so configure, change it into 53940. Oh, 940. Alright, so this is the maximum number of rows. So you are going to need to choose the maximum number of rows in your data table, or else you are going to have some data loss when you are doing the visualization of your clustering chart. Okay, so just click on OK. And the last step, just select all of these nodes. So right click in any one of it and click on execute and open views. So you're going to need to wait for everything to reach 100%. Alright, it's loading. And there you have it. Alright, so I'm going to try. Alright, so this is the maximum. Alright, okay. Alright, so as you can see, now you have 5 clusters in this chart. So this cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 2, cluster 3, 4, and 5. So that's all for clustering using KNIME. So thank you very much.
Okay, so now I'm going to do data mining task for regression analysis where I want to get the predicted price. So first we need to open up the KNIME software. So here is the work canvas where here we will apply the regression analysis by using their nodes. So later on I will demonstrate about that. So first and foremost, we need to upload the data sets into the work canvas over here. So our data set is diamonds. So this from the file we will drag and then upload into the work canvas. So now after that we click OK. So now we are already had uploaded our data sets. So for the second procedure, so for the second one, we are going to use data explorer node. So if you want to get the data explorer node, we search here data here column filter. So after we already connect the column filter to the linear correlation parts, so then we double click over here, and now we will exclude the variables that are not included in our observations. So for now, the only variables that we include in this is only caret, depth, table, and price. So the other from that we will exclude it. click OK. So now we click execute and open views. So if you want to see the result, we right click and then we click correlation matrix. So here is the linear correlations of based on our data sets. So as you can see over here, so now we are going, after this we are going to do the scatter plot for relations between carat and the price, and the other one is depth and table. So as you can see over here, we can already know the relations between carat and the price. So as you can see, carat price, we can conclude that the relation between carat and price is strong positive correlations, which means that later on in the graph, as the value of the carat increase, therefore the value of the price also increase. Okay, so the second one is for the depth and table. As you can see over here, the relation between depth and table is, it is weak negative correlation. So later on, if the at the scatter plot, we can deduce that from this value, as the value of depth is increasing, therefore the value of the table will be decreased. So now we are going to upload the scatterplot node into our work canvas. So here, scatterplot we drag, then we insert to the work canvas. So for now, since I said just now we are going to have two scatterplot, so therefore we will use two scatterplot here. So now we will connect the column filter to both of the scatter plot. So and so now we are going to set for the scatter price just now. So first we are going to create the scatter plot graph between carat and also price. Then we click OK, and then for this one we are going to create scatter plot for between depth and table, and then create image at the output. So then we execute both of these. Okay, so here is the scatter plot graph between carat and also price. So as I just said just now, it is positive, strong positive linear correlation. So as you can see over here, as the value of carat increases, so therefore the value of price will also increase. So here is the scatter plot for depth and table. So since it is negative weak correlation, as I just said just now, so therefore we can see that as the value of depth increases, so therefore the value of the table will be decreased. So that's for data pre-processing and the regression analysis from the datasets. So first and foremost, I'm going to set partitioning node here. I insert to the work canvas and then connect from color filter to it. Okay, so already connect. So then double click. Then here I set the relative into 80% into 80% and use random seed. So that later on I can do training set and test sets. Okay, so done, and then click execute. Okay. So for the next step is I'm going to insert two node, which is okay. So for now I'm going to add linear regression learner nodes into this web canvas. So I'm going to add two. So because one is I will use for training set and one more is for test set. So I can make most of this. Then next step is double click over here and then set the price as our target. Okay, so then now, so this is for training set. Okay, so now I am going to insert regression predictor into the work canvas over here. Okay, so now I'm going to connect this training sets into the regression predictor so that from here we are able to know that whether our training sets is strong enough with the predicted values there. Okay, so next. Okay, so lastly we are going to add numeric scorer node into the work canvas over here. Then we connect this regression predictor to the numeric scorer. So then next we are going to set up the scorer. So here we need to change where the reference column is price that are in our datasets, and then the predicted column is prediction price. So then we click OK and then execute. Click execute. So lastly, after we execute, already click the execute button. So we open up, we click the statistics to see the final results of our model. So as you can see over here, we have value of R square, mean absolute error, mean square error, root mean square error, mean sign difference, mean absolute percentage error, and also adjusted R squared. So my highlighted point here is at the value of R squared. So the value of R squared is 0.924%, 0.924. So basically, this value indicates that approximately 92% of the variance in the dependent variable is explained by the independent variables in my regression models. So which means that these values suggest a strong relationships between the predictor variables, which is the predictions of the price, and also the target variable, which is price from our datasets. So that's all from me. Thank you.